Good morning, dear student. Hope you all are doing well. Dear student, today we are going to discuss about 31st July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So, dear student, the main intention of this discussion is to find out which news that is available in our newspaper is important for your prelims, mains and interview. If it is important, then which part, like whether it is in prelims, if it is in mains, then which part, like it is in society, polity, economy, and where you can write, whether it is right, you can write in conclusion, whether you can write in the introduction and conclusion of the essay. So that is what our main intention. We will find the utility, like each and every article that we are reading, we need to find a utility so that it can maximize your benefit. So dear student, how you can get this PDF? You can simply scan this QR code to download our premium infographics edition. From there you can get the PDF, not the today, all the past PDF. So चलिए एक एक करके शुरू करते हैं. You can also scan this QR code to join our Telegram, and those who are using iOS and iPad device, you can download Class Plus application and use Orgo code as PKRMJ to get it. So first important news is India launch NISAR satellite. So what is the full form of NISAR? NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar successfully launched Wednesday from Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sririgata, Andhra Pradesh. So this is a sun synchronous, it is being launched by Geo satellite launch vehicle, rocket carrying Earth observation satellite lift off from the launch pad, and it is going to be launched or placed in the sun synchronous orbit. You have to remember that. That means sun synchronous orbit means it is synchronized with the movement of the sun. Let's say this is the satellite and this is the sun. So the sun, as the sun move, as the satellite move, as the sun moves, satellite have to be moved so that we can utilize the light of the sun. So GSLV F-16 vehicle has successfully and precisely injected NISAR satellite weighing 2.3 tons into intended orbit. So it's a joint venture between the ISRO and NASA. So NISAR will give decision maker tool to monitor critical infrastructure, respond faster and smarter to natural disaster like earthquake, flood, landslide, map farmland, and improve the crop output and more. So NISAR satellite scan the earth and provide all weather. So it is very important. It can be day, it can be night, and 12-day interval enable a wide range of application. That means it will provide day, night, and complete new picture of entire earth in just 12 days. Okay, so it will be having a swath of 242 km. You have to remember that. Swath means if let's say if this is the earth and our NISAR is traveling like that, so each time it will travel, the camera will cover a distance of 242 km and high spatial resolution using SWAPSAR. So SWIPSAR. So which technology we are using? We are using SWIPSAR technology for first time. So NISAR can detect even the small change on the earth surface such as ground deformation, ice sheet movement, and vegetation dynamics. That means it is very much helpful for prediction of earthquake and landslide also. So next important news is Trump 25% tariff penalty hit India from tomorrow. So the US president cite Russian purchase as a reason for penalizing import from the India. So and India says that will take necessary step to secure national interests. This is what said by our union minister. So the putting an end to the month of speculation, US President Donald Trump announced that import from India could attract 25% tariff from Friday plus a penalty. So citing the purchase of energy and military equipment from Russia, because we are purchasing huge amount of military and oil from the Russia, and USA is believing that this money is being used by Russia for funding its war effort in the Ukraine. So that is the reason they are putting pressure on the India. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry that the government is studying the implication of this sanction and will take necessary measure to secure the India's interest. India and USA have been negotiating for a partial bilateral trade agreement since February, when joint statement issued by Prime Minister and Narendra Modi and Trump that we need to find a deal before the fall. Before the fall means October in 2025. Okay? So negotiation is also going on for a mini trade deal. That means there are some area where there is a convergence of interest. US is ready to open up, India is also ready to open up. So we need to sign that agreement first. Okay? So this is what the news. So next important news is UN report mentioned the resistance front a boost to anti-terror drive. So India's global campaign against the cross-border terrorism received boost with the inclusion of the Resistance Front in the recent report of the Counter-Terror Committee of United Nations Security Council. So recently there is a Counter-Terror Committee of United Nations Security Council. It accepted that the Resistance Front as a terrorist organization. India has described the Resistance Front as the Lashkar-e-Taiba front organization of Lashkar-e-Taiba had accused it of carrying out Pahalgam attack and other terrorist attacks. So India is, there is a evidence with India that this the Resistance Front is the front organization of Lashkar-e-Taiba. So 1267 sanction committee, which Chronicle of Global Terror Group for International Punitive Action, so published its report, so which is mentioned that the Resistance Front is a global terrorist organization. Dear student, you can scan this QR code to join our prelims test series program. Here you will get high quality test at very nominal price. So next important news is, so UN in urgent talk with COP30 summit cost, because recently the COP30 summit is going to held in Brazil, but problem is that the Brazil city of Belém. So but problem is that this city is having high cost to accommodate all the delegation from the all over the country. So that is the reason there is a negotiation to reduce the cost, but this cost factor is not important for our examination. What is important? COP30 it is going to held in Brazil and Belém, and you have to be very keep an eye on what going on what are the outcomes of it. So next is this is very important for your prelims, mains and interview. Please note it very carefully and read it very carefully. So restoring the mangrove can turn the tides on Indian coastal security. So in spite of mounting threat to mangrove, India also epicenter of number of inspiring effort to protect and review mangrove ecosystem. So with the right mix of stewardship, scientific support and policy action, they are showing that mangrove not only survive but also thrive. So here it is given very good article in detail about it. So we know that across the Indian coast from language channel of the Sundarban Delta to Mumbai creek, so mangrove form the barrier between land and sea. So if let's say this is the our India, so mangrove are forming here, so they are acting as a barrier between vast ocean and land. So in case of any storm surge, flood, drought, so it is the mangrove who protect by absorbing the energy of this destructive storm. So these coastal forests are critical in India's pursuit of climate resilience, diversity, conservation and empowerment of the coastal community. However, in face of urban expansion, climate change and development, how Indian mangrove surviving. Okay. So next it is given detail about how it is protecting different surge tide and cyclones. Okay. And during the tsunami 2004 we have seen that how it is protect the coastal people. So it is also given its significance, like how it is carbon sequestrating, how it is helpful in the groundwater recharge. So read it very carefully, and what are the steps taken by the government, like Tamil Nadu government, they have taken a lot of steps for protection of mangrove forest. Even the Gujarat government is also taken a lot of steps for the protection. Even the Maharashtra government is also taken. Okay. So this is what very important for your examination. You need to know what is the percentage of area of land in India under the mangrove forest, and what kind of threat faced by the mangrove forest, and what are the contribution of the mangrove forest. It is given in detail, so please read it. चलिए नेक्स्ट पढ़ते हैं. सो रशिया अर्थक्वेक ट्रिगर सुनामी वेव्स इन जापान एंड यूएसए. सो वी नो दैट let's say this is a ocean. If there is a underwater earthquake happens, so because of that it will displace lot of water. So gradually this water wave flow in the form of tsunami, and the tsunami strike the coastal area. So that can cause severe damage to the coastal area. So one of the strongest earthquake ever recorded struck of the Russia's sparsely populated forest early on Wednesday, sending tsunami wave Japan. Hawaii is an island of USA and USA west coast. Several people have injured, non-gravely, so no major damage has been reported. Tsunami wave of height 3 to 4 recorded in Kamchatka. So dear student, you have to map the Kamchatka. Kamchatka is located in the east of Russia, okay? And 60 cm on the Japan's northern island Hokkaido, okay? While tsunami of 60 to 150 cm height reaching the Francisco, okay? So authority also warned that there might be 8.8 magnitude, could last for hour, but later on there is nothing like happened. So now people have restored, people are out of the danger. The next is focus on the practical step for Israel-Palestine two-state solution, say the India at the UNA. So recently there is a war going on between Israel and Palestine. So why this is war happened? First, the Hamas, the terrorist organization that is residing in the Palestine, they attacked the Israel and took hostile 251 peoples, and later on Israel launched an operations with two objectives: release of all these hostages, and second, completely dissemination or elimination of the Hamas. But now it is 21 war, so because of its bombardment, then fighter jet bombardment, all these things, so it is completely ruined the Palestinians. So and now even Israel is also attacking the people, those who are line of for the food supply. So that led to the demand at the international level for recognition of this two-state solution. That means both Israel and Palestine should be coexisted with one another. So India joined call for Israel to end the war in Gaza and ensure that access to the food and Hamas to return the hostage, and UN member to recognize the statehood of the Palestine at UN conference co-chaired by the French and Saudi Arab. So just read it. Our main intention is to recognize the two-state solution. Since very early we have recognized that two-state solution, that means both Israel should be coexisted along with the Palestine. Okay? So next, new GDP series to be released on February 27, IIP Index of Industrial Production, CPI Consumer Price Index to follow. So apart from this update, Ministry of Statistics program implementation also launching two survey to study how much Indian households spend on travel and tourism. So next few year we'll see lot of activity. For example, we are going to update the domestic production and IIP and consumer price index base year. If we modify the base year, so that is going to reflect the true reality what is going on, new GDP series is base year from 2020 to 23 from 11 and 12. Okay, and same IIP Index of Industrial Production we also update to 2020 to 23 from 2026. Okay, we are also going to update the CPI also. So further, next household consumption expenditure survey will be held from 2027. That means we are going to conduct in 3 years rather than 5 years. So why it is significance? If we make our data more relevant, so that is what helpful for making evidence based policy. If we are making data that is more relevant, more accurate, more correct and more recent, then it can measure the accurate inflation, measure accurate growth, which is very much helpful. So next is amendment to the RTI Act dilute crucial right, say press body and activist. So recently we have seen that the RTI Act has been amended. So and it is given more emphasis to the digital personal data protection. So according to this provision, so it can deny any information if it is violate the personal privacy of a person. So there so the right activists, they believe that if we deny the personal information, this can be a good ground to hide the corruption wrong happening on the ground that it can violate the privacy. For example, if you want to know about the assets of a particular government or politician, then they can simply deny that we cannot provide this information because it is violation of the privacy. So here this article is talking about media profession representative along with the national campaign for people's right to information, so NCPRI. So here you can talk about how civil society organization is playing important role in promoting RTI. So digital personal data protection bill and its draft rule extremely problematic and could erode the right to information and did not protect journalists from identifying people whose wrong are uncovered. Okay, so the NCPRI has been posting that the Digital Data Protection Bill dilute the Section 8 of Right to Information Act for nearly 2 years, pointing out that amendments started to every end of privacy law should be significantly increase ambit of information that could be refused to the seeker. That means by using this ground, the authority can deny the information to the people. So rollback RTI amendment campaign is urging the Union Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology undo the RTI amendment and accuse the government of diluting the crucial right. So they are demanding that RTI Act need to be restored with full power so that they can meld government accountable. So DGCA audit find 19 critical safety breaches by the Air India. So recently a audit conducted by Director General of Civil Aviation, they found 18 critical safety breach by the Air Force, you can say Air India. So next important news is center notifies single window system appointment state DGP with detailed checklist. So there is a recent Supreme Court judgment which is talking about we need to make sure that those who are appointed as DGP, they should be politically neutral, they should not be political color. So they have recommended that state government need to provide name to the UPSC, and UPSC will select name of the DGP, and that person should be appointed for 2-year terms, and those names should be recommended. They should be have at least 2 months of tenure. So 6 months of tenure. So union government has notified a single window system for appointment of Director General of Police or head of the police force in the state. So new policy effectively from April 22 come against the backdrop of several states not following the Supreme Court order on Prakash Singh case and guideline of the Union Home Ministry. So single window system comprise a detailed checklist and standard easy to use format for state to send proposal, facilitating smooth and expeditious implementation by the UPSC for the sources said that center fixed the responsibility on the state by asking any officer not below the rank of secretary to the government to notify minimum tenure of his sends for the empanelment. That means state government have to send some list of the name to the UPSC, and that person should have minimum 6 years of tenure or service. Then only UPSC can suggest which three name of the person that should be appointed as a DGP, and state government can appoint among these 3 person only, not any other person. Okay. And this is what given under the Prakash Singh versus Union of India case. At bilateral meeting, India and UAE agreed to elevate the defence tie. So India and UAE reaffirmed their commitment to strengthen bilateral defence cooperation during 13th India UAE Joint Defence Committee. So two sides agreed to elevate defence ties to match the growing momentum in areas such as trade, investment and social relationship in defense. So because we have lot of potential for joint development, co-production and co-export. So both countries agree to pursue joint manufacturing initiative, including model similar to the collaboration between ICOM India and Karakal UAE for small arm production. So next is the Supreme Court questioned the judge's action moving top court after inquiry became unpalatable. So recently we have seen there is a cases started after half burnt case found on the house of Justice Yashwant Verma. So after that, so there is a in-house committee set up by the then Chief Justice of India, and in that inquiry they have found that indeed really they have found the half burnt case. So they have recommended for impeachment of the Justice Verma. They first they have suggested that Justice Verma should be resigned. And when Justice Verma is not resigned, so they have recommended the Parliament, the President and the Prime Minister to start the impeachment process. And now on that ground, the Justice Verma filed a appeal that how come Supreme Court can form an in-house committee and start the impeachment process, because this process according to the constitution given to the Parliament, not to the Supreme Court. So that is the case, and Supreme Court said that if that is the case, then Justice Verma should move at the starting of the formation of the committee. But now Justice Verma is moving to the High Court when they have found that the judgment is not their favor. So that is what said by the Supreme Court. So next is NASA ISRO satellite successfully launched. So you can see here, so NISAR, which has mission life of 5 years, will observe Earth at a swath of 242 and high spatial resolution. So resolution will be very high. So next, so it is first time measure Earth observation satellite with a radar of 2 frequencies. So the radar will allow NISAR to monitor both surface and subsurface changes through cloud, smoke and vegetation. So its scan on receive method will give a spatial resolution of 3 to 10 meter and centimeter vertical scale mapping. So key application including shoreline monitoring, storm characteristics, mapping of the surface, water resources and disaster response. So we can see here, so GSLV 16 carrying the NISAR satellite lift off from the Sierikata Wednesday. So further application including sea ice classification, it can be applied like monitoring sea ice, ship detection, shoreline monitoring, storm characteristics, change in the soil moisture, mapping and monitoring of surface water resources and disaster response. NISAR is a first satellite to be observed the Earth in the dual frequency aperture radar. So you have to remember that it is a dual frequency. So NASA's L band and ISRO's L band both use NASA 12-meter unfurlable mesh reflection antenna. So integrated with integrated with ISRO's modified 13K satellite bus. So according to official Jet Propulsion Laboratory built radar antenna reflector and radar antenna boom, L-band SAR and engineering payload. So while ISRO is building spacecraft bus, solar array, S-band and launch service. So you can see there is a very welcoming cooperation between both ISRO and NASA for development and launch of this NISAR. So next is Lok Sabha pass resolutions to extend the president rule in Manipur for 6 more months. So we know that once there is a president rule is being imposed in any particular state, so that need to be extended once in a 6 month multiple number of time, but there is a maximum limit. There is a maximum limit beyond which president rule cannot be imposed. So there is need to be elections to be conducted except on 2 conditions. So dear student, tell me what is the maximum duration up to which president rule can be extended, and what are the 2 conditions that is need to be essential for extension of president rule in a state. So let me see how many of you know that. Please put in the comment box. ठीक है, चलिए why there are 2006 Mumbai blast accused freed. So recently we have seen that the Bombay High Court acquitted all those who were accused in 2006 Mumbai blast case because the judgment is very important. So I'm just reading it out. Please listen very carefully. So court acquitted all the 12 accused in 2006 Mumbai serial blast case. So overturning 2015 verdict given by Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Court sentenced 5 of them to the death, 7 to the life imprisonment. But this Bombay High Court, what they have said, punishing an actual perpetrator of a crime is a concrete and essential step towards curbing criminal activity. So main intention of the criminal activity is to punish those who were involved, okay, in this crime. So upholding rule of law and ensuring safety of the security, but creating a false appearance of having solved a case by presenting that accused have been brought to the justice give misleading sense of resolution. That means in justice system, before punishing anyone, we need to make sure that the person those who are we believe is accused are really accused. We need to prove beyond the doubt. That is what the ground they have given for sentencing. And this article is talking about how police can use a torture as a method. They can implicate anyone, how they can collect the evidence to implicate anyone. So this article is talking about, it is mentioning that in police custody the MCOCA is one of the most stringent act. Under the stringent act, you can any person can be for the 6 months they can be in the police custody, and they can use violence as a means to extract any information from that person, and whatever the confession given before the police, that can be accepted in a court of law. That is what the problem with the this case. So after hearing this case and found that there is a inconsistency in the collection of evidence, collection of investigation and eyewitness, so Supreme High Court identify that there cannot be conclusively we can conclude that these persons are involved in this crime. So that is the reason they have given acquitted all this person here. So share of the AC berth double in last decade in long distance train. So here it is see that more people are moving in the third AC and less number of people are moving in the non-AC or sleeper coach. So this is a clear indication that we need to add more coaches in the third AC, and third AC is one of the it's more profitable for the railway also. So if we need to add more capability in the third AC. So boost to the capacity of legal aid system. So in India, so to ensure that those who are poor, if you look into Article 39A, it is talking about access to the justice, free legal aid. It's a DPSP. So it is a responsibility of the state to ensure that justice is accessible to everyone. So the state enacted Legal Service Authority Act 1987, and that aims to provide free legal aid nearly 80% of our population. However, actual reach, if you look into this free legal aid, they are not up to the mark. So what are they? So for that, so this article is talking about few reasons. So first one is budget. So the expenditure we are making in the legal service or providing legal service is very less. Okay? And second, it is talking about Yes, I think this is what the main problem it is talking about. We are not providing much fund, though the objective is to ensure that justice should be reached to the each and every section of the society. So next important news is arrest and unrest. So recently what happened, I'm just giving you a brief about that. So recently two Catholic nuns of Chhattisgarh arrested by the Chhattisgarh police on the charge of human trafficking and forced conversion. So and but the non are saying they have taken that girl from the Chhattisgarh to provide employment in the Agra. So there is a you can say about the state reaction and allegation of the charges against this non, and on the other hand, it is, if you look into article 25, it is clearly saying that freedom of everyone is having freedom of religion, profess, practice, propagate their religion. But article 25 don't talk about forcefully conversion or conversion by using money or any allurement or any inducement is strictly prohibited. And if you look into some state like Odisha and other, they are also having law to prevent the conversion of one religious to the another religious. So here we need to ensure that while every any person is having right to freedom of profess, practice, propagate their religion, they should not be involved in forcibly conversion or use any economical, socio-economical means to force the conversion. So here we need to ensure that proper investigations to find the reason, and need to protect the person, vulnerable person, while ensuring that religious freedom to be protected. So next is top board. So Indian women are catching up with the man in the world chess. So recently we have seen Divya Deshmukh astonishing performance in chess World Cup. Okay, so performance like chess World Cup, defeated the fourth seeded Koneru Humpy and reigning world rapid chess champion in final, underlining country dominance in these events. So you need to remember the name of the Divya Deshmukh, so there can be a question on that. So next is Indian police must get out of the dirty hairy shadow. So this is a very good article. So the way it has started from the introduction about these two story and how it is linked that we need a police office, we need a police system that is more of investment driven, that is more driven by the technology, logic, reason, rather than impassioned use of the brute force. So this is very important because recently we have seen so many instances where people are illegally killed in the police custody by using third degree confession, torture. So recently the Ajit Kumar from the Tamil Nadu died because of this police torture. So here the Supreme Court in DK Basu case said that Supreme Court laid down the detailed safeguard against custodial torture in Puttaswamy. Justice Puttaswamy reaffirmed the dignity and bodily autonomy fundamental right, yet torture remain rampant. The Law Commission of India urged Parliament to enact the standalone anti-torture law. So in India we don't have any anti-torture law, neither we have ratified even convention on torture. So in 2005 India was ranked high risk country in global torture index, securing indictment we can no longer ignore. So that means this article is talking about we need to invest more on the advanced technology like modern in interrogation technology, rather than emphasizing on the third degree. For example, here it can talking about there is a technique called PACE that is being used by the UK, because in past they have seen that the CIA torture method they have been used, and torture method used by all over world. So they are very counterproductive. When you are using torture violence, they are very counterproductive, because those who are accused, they tends to give false or misleading informations to avoid the torture. So that led to the unnecessarily our law enforcement agency waste their critical moment to instead of that can be devoted for proper direction of investigation. So one method is preparation, planning, engage and explain, account, disclose and evaluation method. So that is being used by the UK police. So this kind of approach we need to take. So if you, this can be a very good conclusion also for your essay. The core issue is this not a debate about the policing, it's a test of our democracy maturity. The law must protect the most vulnerable, not brutalizing them. So we look into the torture, so they are mostly suffered by the poor downtrodden of the society. So every custodial beating is not just a wound on the body of citizen, it is a sustain on the soul of the state. So India India must immediately ratify UN Convention against torture and enact standalone anti-torture law. All states should be embedded the PES model in their police. So PES model is UK model, and declared zero tolerance for custodial abuse. So the story, the story it is started, the Sherlock Holmes method succeed in reality, not just in fiction. Why India should cling the dirty Harry shadow. So the story started, this article started with two story, and it also end with two story. Like that, you can write your introduction of your essay. Essay you can start with two anecdotes, one story, second story, then you can link with the essay topics. At the end, you can also refer to the same type of story. So this can be a very good way of writing your essay also. So dear student, this is all about the 31st July. So dear student, because of lack of power, power is not available here, and internet is also not available. So that is the reason I am not able to make this live session. So I am just recording it. So hopefully it is like you like this video. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and please do share this video with your friends so that more number of students can benefit. Chaliye, we'll have to end here.